When you sit around with your own friends talking about the world, how we got here, where we're going,
right.
What's the biggest grievance? Give us your overview.
All right,
here.
what we're talking about is that we believe in democracy. I mean, the problem with the word socialism is that very often it's been equated with what happens in the Soviet Union, which is authoritarianism and totalitarianism. I believe very strongly in the right of dissent, and I think people with my ideas fight for those things very strongly. What we talk about is the fact that in our society, theoretically a democratic society, you have a handful of people who control our economy. You have maybe 2% of the population that owns 1/3 of the entire wealth of America, 80% of the stocks, 90% of the bonds. And these people have incredible power. They sit on huge corporations like the Chase Manhattan Bank, the multinational corporations, and they determine the destiny of our entire country. As you know, perhaps 50% of our population has so given up on the democratic process, they don't even vote, and those are primarily poor people.
Your state is thought of as not only beautiful, but the place you go to get away from all that big city smut and soot and all the crud and you've got those wonderful ski areas. Hooray, let's go. More tourism for Vermont. How do you feel about that?
Well, there's yes and no. I think we don't object to people coming into Vermont to spend money. That's fine. But we do know within our own state, we happen to be, sadly, one of the very poorest states in America. And many of the people in Vermont themselves cannot afford to go to the downhill skiing. We do more cross-country skiing. It's cheaper. What we are talking about is the kind of developments that will provide decent jobs for our people. Very often, and this is a concern within our own state, is that industries such as the skiing industry and other tourist-attracting industries in Vermont, all over the country, and all over the world, they provide very low-paying menial jobs. I'm not particularly proud that our state becomes a state where we have chambermaids and people waiting on other people. We would rather see our people doing meaningful, productive-type jobs where they can earn a decent wage.
Can you go to all those lunches, all of those banquets with the dais and the speeches and the cream chicken and all the wonderful Chamber of Commerce? Here we are, moving on.
Well, what I have said back home, and I say it again, is that our office is open. I've already talked to a number of business people. We will communicate. We're not shutting out anybody. But what I have also said is that what my concern is for the low-income people who are unemployed, who are working at minimum wage jobs, for the kids who are in Vermont as throughout the country. They're left out. They have no sense of purpose.
But everybody says that, Mayor.
Well, they're going to be coming into our door.
Do you want to tax, especially for people who make more than $25,000 a year?
Well, for individuals, perhaps not for families. That's too low. You know, we have husbands and wives.
But you would consider legislation that would tax the wealthy?
Absolutely. We want to take the burden off low-income and working people, and you've got to go to those institutions, those corporations, and those individuals who can better afford to pay.